the cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this shit is crazy.
Chris Rock didn't hold back in his latest stand-up set, and this time, his target was none other than Donald Trump. The legendary comedian delivered a savage roast that had the audience roaring with laughter and the internet buzzing for hours afterward. His sharp wit and fearless delivery hit hard, leaving Trump visibly irritated, according to those close to the event. Things reportedly got so heated that even Melania Trump couldn't keep her cool, allegedly walking out in frustration and throwing what some described as a full-blown tantrum. The impact of Rock's takedown was immediate. Social media exploded with clips and reactions, while Trump supporters rushed to defend him and spin the moment in their favor. It was one of those cultural moments where comedy, politics, and public opinion collided, and Chris Rock was right at the center of it.
Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African-American in the world, the richest African-American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right, he is African-American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns.
Donald Trump getting roasted is hardly breaking news. It's practically a national pastime at this point. But this time, it wasn't just another late-night host or random Twitter user taking jabs. It was Chris Rock, the comedy legend known for turning scandals, meltdowns, and billionaire breakdowns into comedic gold, delivered a roast so ruthless that even Melania, who usually has the emotional range of a Madame Tussauds wax figure, couldn't keep her cool. Let's be honest, Trump has been the butt of jokes for decades. From claiming to be a self-made billionaire, spoiler, he's not, to bragging about his big strong brain, double spoiler, it isn't. He's basically a walking setup for every punchline imaginable. But Rock's takedown hit differently. It wasn't just the content, it was the delivery. With his signature, precision, and mischievous glint in his eye, Rock stepped on stage, mic in hand, and verbally dismantled the former president piece by piece. He tore into Trump's reality television-style leadership, mocked his legendary Twitter meltdowns, rip, little bluebird, and even touched on the age-old mystery. How does someone go bankrupt running casinos? With every jab, you could feel the ego bruises forming. For Trump, whose skin is famously thin and whose ego looms large, this roast wasn't just comedy, it was personal. And that's what made it unforgettable.
Trump is not playing! They got Elon, they're gonna put him on a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex. Oh, yeah. J-Lo's gonna marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe, Chris Rock quipped mid-set, sending the audience into another round of uncontrollable laughter. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's famously orange complexion reportedly shifted to a deep, beet red hue, part embarrassment, part fury. But the real knockout blow was yet to come. With perfect comedic timing, Rock compared Trump to a washed-up sitcom character. Think Al Bundy, he said. But with 91 felony charges and an unhealthy relationship with spray-on hair, the crowd erupted. It wasn't just laughter. It was the kind of thunderous reaction that signals a roast has turned into a public reckoning. Back at Mar-a-Lago, things weren't so funny. Sources say Trump, who's notoriously sensitive to criticism, especially when it hits too close to home, went into full meltdown mode. He was reportedly pacing the halls like a wind-up toy low on juice, ranting to anyone who'd listen. Maybe he called his lawyer. Maybe he called Rudy Giuliani though, let's be honest. Rudy probably answered from the bottom of a bottle. Either way, the panic was real. The roast wasn't just comedy, it struck a nerve, and Trump's ego, as fragile as ever, couldn't take the hit.
President Trump's in the hospital from COVID, and I just want to say my heart goes out to COVID.
Trump's entire persona has always rested on the illusion of being untouchable, a larger-than-life figure who thrives on bravado, bluster, and branding. But in a matter of minutes, Chris Rock casually peeled that image apart in front of the world. And the sting? It wasn't just that he got roasted, it was who roasted him. This wasn't some nameless troll or cable news pundit. This was Chris Rock, a comedic sniper so sharp with his words that even Will Smith couldn't take it. Too soon? Maybe. But facts are facts. If Trump thought he could brush this off like another media jab or late-night jab, he clearly mistook Rock's stage for one of his rallies, where the energy is carefully choreographed and the audience about as diverse as a jar of mayonnaise. This time, though, he wasn't in control. And the internet? It went absolutely wild. Within minutes, memes flooded every corner of social media, tweets rolled in like a tidal wave, and reaction videos popped up faster than Trump can shout, "Witch hunt!" Rock didn't just roast Trump, he ignited a viral moment that left no bunker deep enough for Trump to hide in.
We need fucking bullies. Shit, that's how Trump became president. That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it.
Chris Rock didn't just poke fun at Donald Trump's greatest hits of chaos, like the time he suggested nuking hurricanes or stared directly into a solar eclipse like a man determined to beat the sun in a staring contest. No, this time he went deeper. Rock aimed straight at the heart of Trump's carefully constructed image, his desperate, almost childlike need to be taken seriously, all while engaging in behavior that's more cartoon villain than commander-in-chief. Think about it. This is a man who once tried to Sharpie his way out of a hurricane forecast, blatantly altering a government weather map like a fourth grader, changing their grades before report cards go home. The same guy who stood in front of hurricane victims and lobbed paper towels into the crowd like he was hosting some dystopian version of The Price is Right. And let's not forget his infamous COVID-19 press conference moment, where, in front of cameras and horrified medical experts, he casually floated the idea of injecting disinfectant, as if he were the host of a late-night infomercial pitching the deadliest life hack in history. And Chris Rock, being the razor-sharp comic mind that he is, wasn't going to let that kind of absurdity slide. He didn't just joke about Trump, he amplified the lunacy, holding it up like a cracked mirror to show just how surreal and disconnected from reality the former president truly is. Rock's comedy doesn't thrive on cheap shots. It thrives on pulling the curtain back and revealing the raw, bizarre core of the spectacle. He knows Trump isn't just a guy who says wild things. He's a guy who says them with the conviction of a preacher, the confidence of a conman, and the cluelessness of someone who thinks facts are optional. And that's exactly what made the roast so devastating.
I did, because I saw how they treat him, how the media was against him. I think they are afraid of his strength. And he was leading this country with peace through strength. Yeah. So as soon he announced that he's running for the president, everything really changed. And I saw it and I said, you know, this will not be very pleasant, but I knew what he's into it.
Take, for example, those infamous Trump rally moments. The ones where he danced awkwardly to YMCA like a malfunctioning animatronic at a Chuck E. Cheese. Chris Rock painted the scene perfectly, capturing the essence of a man so wildly out of sync with reality that even his dance moves seemed like they belonged to another dimension. And then there was Trump's never-ending obsession with crowd sizes. Rock had a field day with that too, skewering the way Trump treats attendance numbers, like a teenager lying about how many people came to their birthday party. No one had a bigger crowd than me. Trump insists, sure buddy, and no one lost the popular vote by a wider margin while still calling it a landslide. But Rock didn't stop at the easy shots. He went deeper, into the core of what makes Trump, well, Trump. The pettiness, the compulsive branding, the desperate need to slap his name on everything, like a real estate agent trying to sell a lemon. Trump Tower, Trump Steaks, Trump University, all shining monuments to the idea that if you repeat something is the best, often enough, someone might eventually believe it. Maybe. And of course, Rock couldn't resist wading into Trump's legal quicksand. The indictments, the hush money, the endless investigations, one after another, each scandal stacked like a season of Law and Order, MAGA unit. Rock didn't just make fun of Trump, he laid bare how absurd it's become that the former leader of the free world now more closely resembles a recurring character on a crime procedural than a statesman. But Rock's takedown wasn't just a roast, it was a reckoning. Trump, in his hands, wasn't simply a politician, he became a walking SNL sketch that stopped being funny years ago. Through sharp wit and brutal honesty, Rock held up a mirror to a nation that once made a reality television star its president, and forced us to ask, with a laugh that stings, how did we ever let it get this far? And then, there was Melania. Oh, poor Melania. Trapped in this surreal political sitcom for years, she's endured the side eyes, the hand swats, the forced smiles, and the silent cries for help during every awkward photo op. But this time, Rock brought her front and center, not just as a bystander, but as part of the punchline. If body language could file for divorce, Melania's posture would have signed the papers back in 2017. Rock's joke didn't just highlight Trump's ridiculousness, it spotlighted the quiet tragedy of Melania's role in the spectacle. Because if there's one thing she clearly can't stand, besides, well, her husband, it's being dragged into his endless cycle of humiliation. Rock didn't just roast Trump. He exposed the whole absurd ecosystem around him. And by the end of it all, the audience wasn't just laughing. They were reflecting, wincing, and realizing that behind every clown show, there's a cost.
Be a war hero that got captured. I don't want to vote for nobody that got captured. I want to vote for that got away.
Trump, who rarely, if ever, apologizes for anything, sounded like he's softening a little on McCain.
And certainly if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly.
On the Kelly file, McCain's daughter Meghan couldn't be angrier.
My father has been in public office since before I was born, and this is one of the grossest, most disgusting comments I've ever heard, which is really saying something. I'm 30 years old. And it's because it's not just an attack on my father, it's an attack on all veterans, and it's an attack on all people.
She lost it. Melania Trump threw a tantrum so massive it probably registered on the Richter scale. For years, she's coasted through this surreal, slow-motion disaster of a life wearing designer sunglasses and muttering vague platitudes like, "Be best," all while quietly plotting her escape like a character in a glamorous Cold War spy movie. But even the Ice Queen has her limits. And Chris Rock found them. Let's be honest, Melania has always played the role of the reluctant hostage in this never-ending political sitcom. When she's not dodging Trump's hand like it's coated in expired KFC grease, she's delivering speeches with all the emotional range of a granite countertop. Who could forget the time she literally plagiarized Michelle Obama's speech word for word, like a student scrambling to finish a book report they didn't read? That moment summed her up perfectly, trapped, detached, and seemingly baffled about how she ended up here. And yet, through all of it, she somehow managed to keep her emotions buried deep beneath 10 layers of Botox and sheer willpower. Until now, because Chris Rock cracked the code. Nothing, and I mean nothing, needles Melania more than being reminded she's stuck in the world's longest, most awkward First Lady cosplay, pretending to enjoy her husband's company while the world watches, smirking. But can we really blame her? Let's just take a second to appreciate how absurd this marriage truly is. Melania went from modeling in Milan to waking up beside a man who paints himself the color of a traffic cone and calls himself a stable genius. This is a guy who thinks exercise drains your body's energy, like a 1990s Tamagotchi who warned us that wind turbines cause cancer, and who once tried to buy Greenland like it was on clearance at Costco. This is what Melania wakes up to every morning. This is her life. And for one fleeting moment, thanks to Chris Rock's razor-sharp roast, the carefully curated mask slipped. And what we saw underneath wasn't just frustration. It was a woman who's been silently screaming for years.
Because you think a lot of parents would, encourage their children's kind of high aspirations.
Yes.
But like you told your mom,
when I was a kid, before I wanted to be a comedian, my dream was to be the president of the United States. It's the only real job I ever wanted. Okay? Only time I wanted an office. I wanted to be the president of the United States. And I told my mother, and she's like, you better not, you'll get shot.
Chris Rock's roast wasn't just hilarious, it was devastatingly accurate. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump isn't the intimidating, all-powerful figure he imagines himself to be. He's a man who craves fear and respect, yet constantly ends up looking like a rejected extra from a low-budget reality show about washed-up business moguls. And Melania? She's just counting down the episodes, waiting for the season finale where she can finally exit stage left, preferably without a dramatic confetti cannon. So, what's next in the never-ending Trump-Melania saga? Well, if history's taught us anything, it's that Trump won't stop being a walking punchline anytime soon. Chris Rock will keep racking up standing ovations. And Melania? She's got two options: keep swerving his hand-holding attempts like a pro-slalom skier, or start quietly shopping for a divorce attorney who won't leak to TMZ. Either way, one thing's for sure: Chris Rock just handed America its new favorite joke. And for once, Melania might actually agree.